Hey guys, it's Jessica. Today I'm going to be doing the Book Courtship Tag. I don't know who this was made by, and I don't really care. I really like the questions because they're a lot less hard for me to choose compared to the totally should have and the totally shouldn't have book tags. I feel like those are very fantasy oriented, whereas this is more just whatever books you want to. So yeah, let's get going. And by the way, I'm in front of my tiny little bookshelf for you today. So phase 1, initial attraction. By the way, I'm looking down at my computer screen. I'm sorry. Initial attraction, a book that you bought because of the cover. Didn't really buy it because of the cover. I bought it because I wanted to read it, but the cover kind of made me want to buy it in hardback. And also I have the rest of this author's books in hardback, but it's Carry On by Rainbow Rowell. I just love the look of this book. I just think it's so pretty. Whenever I see it on anybody's shelf on a video, I'm just like, wow, that was so pretty. So then I had to buy it. Phase 2, First Impressions. A book that you got because of the summary. I actually have 2 books that fit into this category. One is You by Carolyn Kempnes? I don't really know. I've heard it pronounced so many different ways, and it's basically because of the back. It just says, you're going to be so sorry when you realize what you made me do. The good news is I have no regrets. So that was really enticing. Plus I heard about the premise and just it sounded really great. And then the second one that was because of the synopsis is The Shock of the Fall by Nathan Filer. And this one is, I'll tell you what happened because it will be a good way to introduce my brother. His name's Simon. I think you're going to like him. I really do. But in a couple of pages, he'll be dead. And he was never the same after that. So I kind of bought that book because of the cover, but also because Reagan from Prue's Project really liked it. So I trust her opinion. Next is phase 3, and that's Sweet Talk, a book with great writing. And for this one, I picked Saving Francesca by Melina Marchetta. As you can tell, I have a lot of little sticky notes here, and that's because the writing's so great, and I really, really love this story. And it's more just her writing, which makes the story, really, because if any other person had written this, it would not have turned out as great at all. So it's all Melina Marchetta. Marchetta. Good job, girl. Good job. It's phase 4, First Date, a first book of a series which made you want to pick up the rest of the series. And the Off-Campus series by Elle Kennedy. And those are just those. I read so many of these. I read all 3 of them, but I reread 2 of them. Or sorry, 1 of them. And they're just these college romance books about these hockey players, and the first book was so good, and then I ended up reading the second one a year later, and then the third one had just come out right when I read the second one, and I was just like, I need to read this. So then I reread the first one, and then I begged my mom to buy the third one, and I read them all on my phone, and she let me. And I don't know, I just really like the series. It's very fluffy, you don't get sad, it's just really nice. So the first book, even though it was a year later, still made me pick up the second one because I saw it later, because the second one wasn't out by the time I read the first one. Phase 5, Late Night Phone Calls. A book that kept you up all night. This one is so this doesn't happen to me often, but the book that kept me up all night is Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover, and I remember getting this, and I got it at 4 or something, and then I got probably 200 pages in, and I was up or maybe I got home at 5 or something, and then I started reading, and I was just up till 12, and then I needed to go to sleep. I didn't have school the next day, but I just needed to go to sleep, and then I read the rest. It's 300 pages. Just because it was so good. I don't know, this story, I look back at it and I don't like it as much as I did when I was reading it. I still absolutely love the book. It's just that the relationship was a bit uncomfortable for me to read because I don't think I would ever, they weren't very relatable. But it was still, like, nice to read about this because it would never happen to me, I guess. I don't know. Like, we're not going to read stories that are about our everyday lives. Like, we want to read stories that are kind of fanciful. And this book definitely was that. So pick it up. 6, always on my mind, a book that you could not stop thinking about. This one is, again, very, very relatable to me because I still think about this book probably almost every day. And probably almost every day because I just related to this main character so much, which is probably weird if you read the book. But I really did, especially at the time that I read it. And that is Jellico Road by Melina Marchetta. I don't know. I absolutely, absolutely love this book. This is my favorite book of all time. And I'm not sure what it is about it. I mean, obviously the writing's fantastic. Obviously the story's fantastic. But it's also the main character and the way that she writes her that just made me really connect with her. It's more her personality, not what's happened to her, but like her personality and how she interacts with other people that I find very relatable, which not a lot of people would say probably, but I do because Taylor Markham is very similar to, so that's why I love this book so much. And I was thinking about this for like weeks after. Again, I've read this probably like 2 or 3 years ago, and I still think about it like every day. As I said, I'm not even kidding, like every single day I'm just like, oh, would Taylor do this? Phase 7, Getting Physical. A book which you love the way it feels. Honestly, this question's kind of boring, honestly, but I picked My True Love Gave to Me because it's like soft, and then it's silky, and then it's soft, and then it's silky. And yeah, I only read like 2 stories out of this and then I got bored, but I'm gonna keep it because I mean it's so pretty and it feels so nice. Phase 8, Meeting the Parents. I will never do that. A book which you would recommend to your friends and family. Oh, frick. My computer just died. The questions were on there. I'm gonna have to remember what the questions were. But anyway, so this one was like the friends and family thing. And I actually picked Saga, like the Saga series, which is the graphic novels. And I would only recommend these to people over 18 because they have sexual content in them. But I just feel like a lot of people like sci-fi, fantasy, people run against other people. I don't know, it kind of reminds me of like, it doesn't remind me of these things, but I feel like this could be other people's like this, but like Lord of the Rings and even like Batman, Superman and stuff like that, because people are so into that kind of stuff, and I feel like people could get into this the same way that they could feel so like connected to that. Like this reminds me of like a TV series basically that a lot of people could like, that could be like what are those called? Marvel and stuff like that. And then finally, oh yeah, this one was a book that you think that you'll, this is phase, what, like 11, 10? A book that you think that you'll reread in the future, or a series that you'll reread. And mine was The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. I think that I'll reread this pretty soon actually, because the 4th book is coming out, and I don't know, these are just so, I know a lot of people say this about it, but it's so true that they're really atmospheric, and you just feel like you're in this kind of southern, like, it's not the annoying southerns, but it's like the cool, like, almost like New Orleans type of southern, even though I don't think that this is set in New Orleans. It's just that's the kind of like accents I picture these people to have, like very slight accents like that. And I don't know, I just have like this really fond attachment for these books, and I think that I will reread them pretty soon, and then later in life as well, just because, I don't know, I really like them, and all the characters are so realistic, kind of like with Melina Marchetta's. Those characters are very, very realistic just because they're very character driven, and so is the series.